What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with AltCoin Buzz. I'm going to put out some very important information that you guys should be aware of, just as you were aware of the SEC's meeting that just took place last week. You should also be in sync with the G20. This is not spreading FUD, this is spreading information. Remember, knowledge is power, right? So the more you know. So how the G20 is going to respond. If you notice, if you come onto their website, the G20, February 8th and 9th, which was yesterday and the day before that on Thursday. So they had the first meeting of Digital Economy Task Force. Okay, digital economy, that's you. That's the digital cash, digital currency, right? Could be affecting the price right now. There's no guarantee of that, but now on the 20th of February, first meeting of the International Financial Architecture Working Group. Here we can anticipate that they will mention Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies there. What it's going to come down to is the government's position on cracking down on bad actors. These are people who are criminally behaving in the cryptocurrency space, and they are taking advantage of investors. And if we come over here, I want to explain to you what the G20 summit is, okay? So, 2018 G20, Buenos Aires, Argentina. So, the G20 will be the 19th meeting of the group of 20. So, there's 20 nations that convene for this. It will be held in 2018. Where can I get some information about the G20? Well, basically, these are the participating countries. They're basically the global 20 superpowers. You have Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Mexico, Japan, Italy, Indonesia, India, Germany, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, United Kingdom, European Union. There's two European Union here, and the United States. So these are the global 20, the biggest superpowers in the world, essentially. And they come together to discuss in a United Nations type setting where they come together as this collective and work together, essentially forming a financial architecture, or even talking about some of the human rights violations, whatever the case may be that they discuss. In this case, you'll be looking for their discussions about finance. So I'm putting this out there so you guys are aware that there's going to be discussion about this, and let's talk about that more in detail, right? So they put this out there. Shaylin mentioned it in the news. You guys took it as perceived FUD. It's not FUD. It's what's happening. See, FUD is if someone's trying to scare you. This is not trying to scare you. This is informing you that there is going to be a high-level government discussion that's going to take place, and that's the point. Okay. So essentially, there's this. This is the comment that I took notice of. Right here, the officials put forward their request in a letter to the finance minister of Argentina, who currently hold the G20 presidency. They said, "We believe there may be new opportunities arising from the tokens and the technologies behind it." So that's an overall outlook that's positive for cryptocurrency, saying there is benefits coming from tokens and the innovation that takes place in this. However, tokens could pose substantial risk for investors and can be vulnerable to financial crime without appropriate measures. In the long run, potential risk in the field of financial stability may emerge as well. So governments, why do they want to get involved? Is it because they want the control? Well, some of you would assume that, right? But there's also, you have to bear in mind, bubbles pop because of lack of regulation or lack of insight. We saw that with the housing collapse of 2008. And economists, they part of the government and economist viewpoint is they want to let things boom. Everybody likes when things are reeling in big results, right? You like when there's big money coming into your bank account. You don't like when there's negative money coming into the bank account. But what wise or experienced economists prefer is slow and steady growth, right? Well, many young people in particular, including myself, I like to see fast growth with Bitcoin going from $400 or $1,000 to $20,000 Bitcoin is exciting, right? It's way more interesting than watching a boring stock go up 5% over a certain amount of time, right? So The plan to hold discussions on digital currency comes after a large increase in interest in online money over the last 12 months. Bitcoin, the original cryptocurrency, had a value of just $954 in January last year, but saw its price soar more than 1,500% throughout 2017. So the letter from French Prime Minister, blah, blah, blah. Point is, guys, you can get this information on the G20 Argentina website here. And if you want to dig around and see exactly what they're talking about, they have a press release kit, they have news, latest news. Let's see if they've got anything on cryptocurrency here. Here it is. The G20 dialogue on the digital economy gets off to a start. Let's see if they mention anything about Bitcoin here. We are on the verge of a true digital revolution, stated Ibarra. Policy responses must ensure that the adaptation to so many technological changes is inclusive and generates opportunities for more and better jobs and, well, more and better development. So we're looking for digital infrastructure. Okay. We're looking for the term cryptocurrency, which we're not seeing that discussion take place. See, cryptocurrency, I'll give it to you the way that I see it. So right now, bankers, they need to know that cryptocurrency is better than their system that they have in place right now, right? That's kind of the logic. The cryptocurrency crowd says, well, what do we need a bank for? We don't even want you guys to be banks. So it's like there's a power grab happening here where this one economy is coming up. The establishment saying, well, we want to, they don't perceive it as a threat because they're so high up there. They're like, whatever, we'll regulate it, if it gets too big, and we'll actually embrace it if it's good enough. But the digital economy, the cryptocurrency crowd is saying, hey, we don't even want banks. We don't want government involved. We want decentralized. But then when things get out of hand, what happens? Decentralized crowd changes their mantra, and they say, well, hey, tell the government we need some support here because this company just got hacked or whatever. So it's really an interesting environment, and you, the investor, have got to think about some things. And I think that paying attention to this G20 news is going to be something to observe. We did post something here on Twitter recently. I said, because there has been some cranky hanks out there. I said, I think I know why many cryptocurrency channels go silent when in bearish conditions. Yikes, some seriously tough conditions to expose yourself to out here. More or less videos from us. You guys want more or less videos? I'm used to trolls, but if people just want less content, let us know. So what I'm saying is, if I don't want to post too much content if you guys don't want the content, because we're getting some real tough talk from our audience. We're getting a lot of support, but there's a lot more tough talk out there than there ever has been. And it's not that I want to avoid or should ignore the criticism. It's that should we stop making content? And overall, the feedback we got was basically keep going. So we're going to keep putting content out there and expose ourselves to you guys who are kind of a little bit cranky. But yeah. So we'll keep the content coming because you guys are asking for it. But yeah, this is, I think, why cryptocurrency channels go silent during bearish conditions, because people who are down on their positions who bought maybe a month ago or something, they're not too happy. And who could blame the people who are down? Like, no one wants to be down. Like, I'm not blaming you for having a negative outlook. I was buying all the way since June, July. So I was kind of spoiled in that sense. And then the last month or so, I kept that trend going where I was buying. I've had to slow down a little bit and wait for this thing to settle. But I could only imagine if I was buying in June and July. Actually, flashing back, when I first bought in June, I was down in my Ethereum position. I bought in at 280, and I think it went down to 200, and it held there for about a month and a half. So, I mean, I wasn't too happy about that, but I had confidence in Ethereum to go back up. And now, Ethereum's been as high as $1,300, and it's sitting at 817. So, I mean, 6 months to a year can really make a big difference. So if you're short-sighted and you're just focusing on your positions from a month or two, maybe be a little bit more patient and wait for this thing to develop a little bit, even if it means waiting 6 months to a year. That's kind of my final thoughts on that. Anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. But yeah, you can keep up with us on Twitter at AltCoinBuzzIO and also on other social media, Instagram, AltCoinBuzz. We'll see you guys later.